Going on? We in the building, man. We in the building, man. We in the building, man. You know, I like hate when people hype up a documentary or they give off the cinematic theatric feeling when they show the trailer. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, y'all got us totally invested, and then y'all drop it and the shit be ass. Like, and I'm talking about the recent Untold series from Netflix. First off, shout out to Untold. I appreciate the Untold series a lot. Them shits is lit. Like, my favorite one was probably The Malice in the Palace. I fuck with that one. I fuck with which one was the other one? The Flagrant Foul one with the ref. You know what I mean? I mess with a lot of them, man. So, I had high hopes when I saw this one. And this is what the Swamp Kings, talking about the Florida Gators from like 2006 until 2009, I believe. That's what they said it was going for. So anyway, man, it was put together very well. Definitely had some good moments of it. Wasn't a bad. It wasn't. The production wasn't bad. It wasn't put together bad or anything, in my opinion. But what was ass was the obvious. If you watched it, you know what's going on. How do you have a fucking documentary about the Florida Gators and you don't have the Pouncey twins on there? You don't have Percy Harvin on there. You know what I mean? Like, for whatever personal reasons, you still should have had them on there some way, somehow. I don't care. I'm not buying that. And secondly, it shouldn't even been called Swamp Kings. That shit should have been called Urban Meyer. Like, his redemption or some shit. That shit was like a redemption tour. They try to like really like unsmear this nigga. You can't unsmear nigga like that's unsmearable. Like, you already got fired from Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? You was out here. First off, whoever recorded you was fouled for that. They didn't have no right to record you, so I'm with you on that one. But you out here kicking niggas in the nuts, I heard. Like, you kicked the kicker in the balls or some shit like that. Like, I don't know what you Ohio boys do, but that's wild. Like, I'm gonna ask Brian if y'all do that, cause that was different. You know what I'm saying? But even past that, man, even past that, the documentary really just seemed like they were trying to just big him up. It just seemed like it was more about, I know he was a big part of it because he was the head coach, so essentially it was about him, but should have named it something else. They didn't have a lot of people in there. Then you hear players like Cam Newton coming out and saying shit like, what he say? What the fuck did Cam Newton say? I'll play it. But yeah, man, a lot of that shit is crazy. And shout out to Tim Tebow. I've always been a Tebow fan. I don't know why y'all be hating on Tebow. Tebow low-key cold, man. Like, I think he got blackballed out the league. You know what I'm saying? Because he was too religious and shit. But, he had his chances. But that's neither here nor there, man. I thought overall the documentary kind of just didn't have no identity. Like, when you watch the Untold series, you supposed to, like, find out some shit you didn't know. Like, that's why it's called Untold. Like, we didn't know shit. I didn't know none of that shit about, Donahue from the Flagrant Foul episode, the cheating ass referee, NBA referee. Even with the Palace and the Malice, they put out details. We all knew about the fight, but they put out details that none of us ever knew. So it's like, I mean, I kind of appreciate them for that. You know what I'm saying? But, that was just, I don't know. I felt like this recent one was a cash grab. And I'm not even going to get started on the Logan Paul one. Like, y'all gave Logan Paul, or Jake Paul, Untold. Like, I get it. I watched it. It was put together well. Like, I know what y'all be doing. But, damn, everybody get a documentary? Like, and then, obviously let's talk about the fact, Aaron Hernandez, they mentioned him once in there a little bit. I felt like that would have been a perfect time to try to, you know what I mean, like, explain more. But then again, you got to understand, it's an agenda. They probably, like, they have no motivation to try to get no more insight on a dude. They just like, fuck it, they did it. But I felt like it just would have been good to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, hear players say how he was acting. And I know there was players on the team that y'all could have asked, and like, they could have gave their honest opinion, whether we like it or not. But I don't know, man. I feel like overall it was just a real cash grab, and it should have been named Urban Meyer, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't name it that. They couldn't name it after him. They couldn't name it after dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, based off of what he did, because you know it wouldn't have sold. So I mean, I don't know, man. Urban Meyer, we heard a lot of shit about him, like how he's abusive and all that shit. I'll be like, man, listen, man, you know how many people was abusive? Joe Jackson was abusive, nigga. Some would say LeVar Ball probably was abusive. Nah, I'm just playing. Shout out to all them niggas. The point is, I don't even know if there was a point. Well, I guess the point is, a lot of these NFL coaches are just NFL coaches, these high prominent coaches, they all got some type of flaws. My thing is, why y'all got to lie to us, though? Why y'all got to put us in the mix? Nigga, like, I didn't want to see that shit if it was just going to be about him. Fuck out of here. That shit was crazy. They let us in, though. It was a good trailer, so, you know what I mean? They did what they did. They did its purpose, essentially, because they got their money. I'm sure everybody watched that shit. I watched that shit ASAP. And it was a good documentary. Don't get me wrong. It was good. I'm not saying it was a bad one at all. They just missed out a lot of key shit. It's actually amazing that you can miss out so much key shit and the shit still be dope. Like, that's really dope to me. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck are you able to do that? Like, who the fuck is you, nigga? Like, what? You Denzel's son? Who is you? That shit is crazy, yo. But, no, man, listen, I'm not gonna smear him. I'm still a fan of the Untold series on Netflix, so I would tell people to go watch it. My personal opinion, I just didn't think it was really lived up to the hype, nor did they care for our real perspective, because it just felt more like a Tim Tebow, Urban Meyer thing. I know I said it a bunch of times. That's just what it felt like. It didn't feel like anything more deeper than that, and that's kind of what you look for when you look into these Untold series. You know, it's almost like essentially a new form of like what is it, like 60 Minutes almost. Minus like it's like you're seeing everything interactively, but it's like, damn, this is real. This is like they're telling the real shit. We probably don't get this all the time, but I don't know. It was still good. Like I said, production wise, check it out. It's on there. It's called Swap Kings. Yeah, man. That's it.